Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, about 15 minutes ago on the ban the box legislation that we were discussing, said that we should listen to civil rights groups. Well, H.R. 745 is word for word from H.R. 1. And guess what the ACLU said about H.R. 1? They said, don't vote for it. This legislation is taken word for word from H.R. 1. We've already voted on this bill. Mr. Chairman, we asked for a markup on H.R. 1. You said no. You said, no, we'll mark it up after we vote on it, something I've never seen in the 12 years I've been in Congress. But that's what we're doing today, marking up a bill that we've already all voted on the House floor. We shouldn't pretend that after the fact we're going to go through regular order, but frankly, I'm not surprised. First, this committee invites someone to testify who in 5 weeks is going to prison for lying, and he comes in front of the committee, and what's he do? He lies to Congress. And yet the chairman refuses to refer him to the Department of Justice for perjury. And now we're going to go have a markup on H.R. 1. Instead of wasting time on marking up legislation that the committee already declined to consider, let's take a vote on something important that goes right to the, as I said earlier, right to the credibility of this committee and right to the credibility of this institution. Mr. Chairman, I renew my request for consideration of the committee resolution offered into the record on March 14th at that hearing. We should vote on referring Michael Cohen for perjury. We should do it. After all, that's what you said you were going to do. You were going to hold him accountable. Instead, today we're voting on the Democrats' partisan ethics policy. Ethics is an important topic and one that should be bipartisan. Unfortunately, during this Congress, this committee has chosen to weaponize ethics. In H.R. 1, the Democrats in the House cobbled together every partisan idea they had to target the president or transform election laws to favor their party. How does politicizing the Office of Government Ethics relate to federal interference with state election administration? There's only one connection I see. They're both aimed at helping the Democrat Party. Automatic voter registration means more ineligible people can vote, displacing the votes of voting eligible citizens. Politicizing and weaponizing OGE, the Office of Government Ethics, means creating an unaccountable attack dog to harass this administration. And that's exactly what this bill does. This bill arms OGE with investigative and subpoena authority and explicitly aims the politically charged office at the White House. Mr. Chairman, OGE is an agency that is supposed to be focused on prevention and education. OGE is responsible for advising executive branch employees on how to comply with federal government ethics regulations. It's not an entity to be given investigative authority. In fact, when former OGE Director Walter Schaub testified before this committee in 2015, he said this: OGE is not the right entity to be given investigative authority. Giving OGE investigative authority would jeopardize the executive branch ethics program's critical function as a prevention mechanism, close quote. This new role as an investigator is incompatible with OGE's current role. Why would executive branch employees proactively seek advice from the same office that is going to investigate them? This will have a significant chilling effect on executive branch employees preemptively seeking advice. This bill also creates serious resource implications, as OGE does not have the staff to advise, investigate, and discipline the entire federal workforce. How much is this thing going to cost? We don't know. Importantly, why is this committee creating duplication? Agencies are responsible for ensuring their employees are compliant with these federal ethics laws. Inspector generals stand ready to hold agencies accountable and investigate alleged ethics violations. In fact, we got a bill that we already voted on, but they already dealt with, on the inspector generals. This committee has not seen any evidence of a failure in the current system. When there are failures of ethics compliance, OGE can notify the agency and refer the matter to the inspector general. Just the way it's supposed to work, just the way it has been working. OGE has done that and will continue to do that. That system works. Expanding the authority is wasteful, duplicative, and creates unnecessary opportunity to politicize ethics for overly zealous and unprofessional officials. Former OGE Director Schaub is a good example of why we need to be careful about creating an unaccountable and unrestrained OGE. In 2016, Mr. Schaub took it upon himself to publicly shame and mock the president-elect in a series of tweets, not from his personal account, but from the official OGE Twitter account. We cannot encourage and support such inappropriate behavior. Rewarding the office with expanded authority after the head of the office so recently misused the authority the office already has sends exactly the wrong message. I cannot support this bill and urge my colleagues to vote against it. Mr. Chairman, I yield.